wrapping the rope around the tree and then locking it into the Dynalock tab, it's nothing. Super nice. Can we fast forward to fall, please?
That's what the call sounds like. Make sure you listen to it.
Okay. I just shot a bug. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Well, good morning, guys. Welcome back to Call It Outdoors. Today I'm super excited. I finally got my hands on Tethrd ONE Sticks. About a month ago they had a Father's Day sale. They were 15% off. I figured probably not going to beat that. I had a gift card from my in-laws, so shout out to them as well. And here they are. So I've got skeletors as well, as you can see, just kind of like as a point of comparison. These are great sticks. They've taken me up many a tree. They've aided me in taking multiple deer. But I have to tell you just right away, like, it is insane holding this thing relative to this. So it's about half the weight, right? These are 17.2 ounces per stick. That is counting the AM Steel Dynalite rope, which is really, really nice. And I really like the overall design of these. If I hold them up side by side, you can see the Skeletor is a little bit longer. That's one thing I don't like. Obviously, like, saving weight, every inch matters when it comes to these sticks, but that is going to cost you a little bit every step. Now, can you hang the sticks an inch and a half further apart? Yeah. Not really a huge deal, but it is one thing that I wanted to mention that I noticed right away. Another thing you can probably see, these are all one solid piece. No folding steps. The Skeletors fold up, which is nice for packing, but no moving parts. You don't have to worry about anything like that. It has the Dynalock system for attaching to the tree, which I really like. So this AM Steel is looped over this Dynalock tab. This is always going to go up, by the way. It's higher up on the stick. The step that it's closer to goes up. So, to be clear, this tree is leaning pretty bad. I'm not going to climb it, I'm just showing you this. So you wrap the rope around. We're going to go under, make an X, seat it down, and it's good to go. I love how simple that is. You can be brand new to saddle hunting, or you can be doing it for 20 years. Doesn't matter. It is so simplistic. It's super convenient, super easy. You can do it low light, no light. Really, really nice. I love the way that they set that up. Another thing that I think is really cool with these, hopefully you can see it, there are reflective strips attached to both steps, one on each side, on every stick. I got a 4-pack, by the way, and we are going to climb a tree with them later just because I want to. But I thought that was a really neat little thing. They're out of the way, they're underneath the step, and they're down in here just enough to where you're not going to be wearing them out every time you climb up there. But that's super nice. I hope this shows on camera. These reflective strips also glow in the dark. You can see that kind of greenish color. They obviously have to be exposed to light first, but once they have been, they're reflective. Hopefully you can see that. The flashlight kind of washes it out on camera, but I think more impressively, they glow green. I hate using like a headlamp or anything getting into the stand. I just think the deer see that light. But with this, if you're getting in real early or if you're coming down real late, you can see that kind of greenish coloration. That'll help you locate your sticks. Really, really cool. Another really cool thing while we're here, their rope retention system. It's already looped over that Dynalock tab, and we have this circular tab here. So we can just wrap the AM Steel right back around here and loop it through one of those little channels. You're good. Like, everything is really meant for clean, efficient saddle hunting. And they do have the stick lock system, same as the Skeletors. They come with, as do the Skeletors, replacements for these little pegs. I like that they send them, so there's 2 of each. The longer pegs and the shorter pegs. They're really easy to replace too. I did break one on the Skeletors in the past. Literally just one little screw, take that out, put the replacement peg on. Really, really nice, just that you have those. They're durable, you know, they're both fairly strong and flexible, but like I said, I did break one, they can break. So I thought I'd show you the stick lock system if you've not seen it, because it's really nice. So if you look, there are longer pegs on the bottom step, shorter pegs on the top step. Again, they're under the steps, so you're not gonna be stepping on them constantly. And all you need to do is, first, you line up the longer pegs with these holes here. We have them in place. Now, as we start to push down on these, we can just get the shorter pegs aligned. That's on there. Really nice, easy to remove, easy to place. It can help so much with organization. I don't have to drop my sticks out of the tree. I can just wrap up the AM steel Dynalite rope and just stick them together on my saddle as I go down. Having the replacements is nice. It's nice that, you know, when you're spending that kind of money, these for a 4-pack retail for $500. They are on the pricey side. Having the little replacements, at least if you break that, you don't have to worry about it. Now, I do want to talk about some of the downsides, and you maybe just heard that a little bit. So if I would hit this on my ring, this is hollow aluminum, it is loud. I don't love that, but like, you know, the point of the lighter sticks, obviously, like, that's going to be a thing. So stealth strips are going to be really important on this. You can see, like, I've still got the tags on these things. I haven't gotten the time to mess with all that kind of stuff just yet. But that is really important. I would not just buy these sticks and call it a day. If you hit them together, if you hit them on your platform, anything like that, they are going to make a pretty serious amount of noise. And I'm not sure how much the stealth strips are even going to save that. It'll help some, but it's certainly not going to make it completely silent. Release, knocking on it as well. Like, a lot of things that you definitely want to be careful of when you're getting into your tree, getting out, anything like that, not to make additional noise. That metallic sound, I don't know how many things deer associate more with humans than something like that. Now, I also mentioned the price. For a 4-pack, it is exactly double. The skeletors are $250, the One Sticks are $500, like I said. It is, to be honest, pretty easy to justify if you're going on a mile hike. We hunted in Kentucky a couple years ago on public land. We were hiking back in a mile. It was like 80 degrees. Every pound you just start regretting when you're going back in there. I really wish I had these for that hunt. I had the skeletors. You know, 8 pounds for your sticks, not bad. 4 pounds for your sticks, a whole lot better. Another thing I don't love with these, the angle of the steps is not nearly as steep for the bottom step as the skeletors. I think that makes it a little bit less convenient for aiders. The one that I use, and again, we'll show it a little bit later, I just hang it over the inside of the step. It'll work just fine on this. I'm sure it will. There is also the fact, because this is all one piece, the aider is going to have to, like, kind of sit on the outside of this, the way that I set mine up. There's other aiders, and I'll look into doing something like that, but the one that I ran for the skeletors is not going to work as good with the One Sticks for sure. Now, I mentioned the step design when it comes to using an aider. This is literally all I use, and I want to make one out of AM steel eventually, but this was some Walmart cordage that I had. I just wrapped a bunch of black tape around. You can see it kind of holds that loop shape a little bit better, more robust to get my boot in. And with the skeletors, I always just loop it over the step. Because this is all one piece, the step and the teeth that butt into the tree, this part in between keeps the aider, A, shorter, because there's more of the rope just hanging over top of that as opposed to being like a much sharper angle, so there's more of it hanging down. And then also B, it is keeping the rope closer out towards the edge of the step. That doesn't really concern me. I only use an aider on the bottom. If you use an aider for every step, I would certainly not do it this way, but on the bottom, you know, this is whatever, 24 inches up or something. It's not really a big deal. It is gonna be really nice having that extra space. They're wider than the steps of the skeletors. So when you're hunting in real cold weather, you got heavy boots on, or if you just generally wear like bulkier boots, you have a little more foot room with this, which is really good. I do like, I like that the Skeletor ones fold up because that's nice to run, say, on the side of your pack. I think I might run these on the bottom of my pack. That can be hard on like your lower back, having that weight at the bottom of whatever you've got over your back. However, I think because these are so light, that might work. We'll have to see. But I can see like the larger profile of this, snag and brush and stuff, if you don't have like a clean entry into where you're going. That is something definitely to consider. But again, you could probably just run these, you know, in such a way to minimize that risk however you put them on your pack. They do stack down really nice, which is super cool. Having 4 of them, I think in a slightly smaller profile than the Skeletor stack is cool. Obviously they're a little bit shorter, so there is that aspect of it as well. But having 4 sticks of a bundle, they stack together with that stick lock system, which as I mentioned, I really like it. It is so convenient. You can see I've got on here just an orange loop through this. Did the same thing with my Skeletors with black rope. I think I like the orange better. Again, like that's one extra layer of being able to see that in low light. I just hang it over a hook on my saddle, and while I'm coming up, they're right there. I can pop off 1 stick at a time. It is really, really nice being able to do that. So, I think we're gonna take these guys up a tree just to kind of, you know, get the feel of using those lighter sticks, being able to maneuver them a little bit easier and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I'm excited. This is gonna be the first time I get to do it with the One Sticks. So I realized earlier when I showed you my loop, I had it backwards. I had it on the top of the sticks. I hang them upside down so that when I can remove them, really, really nice. You noticed there was a tiny little clang there. If you're careful, it's not bad. If you're not, every deer within, I don't know, depending on the woods, 100 yards or so just heard that. I always set these chest high at the Dynalock tab, so that when I seat them down, a little bit lower than that. You can see it's around, hopefully you can see, it's around the distance of 1 step between the sticks. And I don't really see the need to set a platform and stuff today. It's so nice. Like the 1 pound sticks, they're so easy, they're so light. You just stick them against the tree. You barely have to even do anything to keep them in place while you're wrapping the rope around the tree and then locking it into the Dynalock tab. It's nothing. Super nice. Can we fast forward to fall, please? Now, coming down, just undo our X on the Dynalock tab, bring the rope around, and this is what I was talking about with this rope retention system. You don't have to have a mess when you get down the tree in the dark or whatever. We have that. I always have this stick with my loop as the last one, because then I can just hang it from my saddle, and now, like I said, I don't have to lower my sticks down or anything like that. I will stack them as I go. And with that, I think we're pretty much ready to wrap this thing up. The video I'm talking about, not this. But for real, I really like these things. I was so impressed, like actually getting to climb the tree made such a difference. Obviously the weight is what sold me on the One Sticks, as I'm sure it did for so many people. But a couple of things climbing the tree that I really realized, obviously because they are so light, it takes nothing to hold them in place while you're wrapping this AM steel around the tree and then locking it into the Dynalock tab. That was really, really nice. The biggest eye-opener for me was these steps. Because they're wider, there's so much more support for your feet. It makes a world of difference if you're up on the stick for any extended period of time. I've always gotten like a calf strain with the Skeletors. If I have to stand on one stick for, I don't know, even several minutes, maybe I have to cut a limb, maybe, you know, it's really difficult the way the tree leans or bends or something, just getting the stick set, maybe set the platform's a pain. If I'm on that stick for a while, I get like some calf strain because it's such a small thing you're standing on. With this, it's so much wider, it's more supportive for your feet. And I mentioned that loop, I had it upside down so that I could take the sticks off upwards. So while I fixed that, I was just hanging from the first stick because that's when I realized I just had to flip it. Never felt that calf strain while I was hanging there doing that. That I really, really appreciate about these things. I mentioned the reflective tabs. I'm sure I showed you a B-roll shot of that. That's super cool. The stacking system, same as the skeletors, just overall a really nice stick. The biggest con, of course, is the price. $500 for a set of 4 is a lot. I got them, like I said, with the 15% off sale for Father's Day, so they were, I guess, $420-ish with the 15% off sale, and then I had the gift card as well, so that helped, but still expensive. That said, I've used Tethrd products for about 5 years. I know them, I trust them. When I'm up, 20 feet in a tree, hanging by a rope, I want to use something I trust, and these I most certainly do. I saw some comments out there about the bite into the tree. I never had an issue with that going up that individual tree, but it is a cherry tree. The bark is pretty robust. Maybe a tree with smoother bark, you'd run into that issue, but over time, we'll get to experience all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I want to fast forward to fall and get in the tree with these guys. But I think on that note, that is going to do it for this video. So as always, take it slow and listen for the call.